Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mike, and today I'm going to continue with the video series that I've been making where I'm describing the Canon RF lens lineup of similar types, just so you can have an idea when you're looking up online what lens you're interested in buying for your Canon camera, and you're seeing all kinds of lenses, especially when you're seeing all kinds of lenses with similar focal lengths and variable focal lengths and things like that. This is designed to, again, give you a better idea of what's out there and what would be best for you when you're trying to pick out a lens. So for this one, I went with the wide angle lenses. We've got the RF 14 to 35, 15 to 35, and also the 10 to 20. Obviously that's not quite the same as the 14 to 35 and 15 to 35, but it is wide, and I wanted to throw it in there since it is a pretty fun lens to use. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is the RF 15 to 35. This one is 2.8. I'm going to refer to my notes because I want to be able to keep on track. So this is the one that I own, and I've had it for a little while. Right now, it normally retails for $23.99. This is at B&H. It's probably going to be a similar price as some of the other stores, but this is the place that I typically shop when I shop for photo gear online. Right now, it's $300 off. It's $2,099. So if you're thinking about getting a lens for the price, that's a pretty good price. Weight-wise, it's 1.85 pounds. So again, as I mentioned in my previous video, none of these lenses are super heavy weight-wise. You're probably carrying around things this heavy all of the time. However, as I mentioned, holding a camera out in front of you can get pretty weighty at times and make for some sore wrists if nothing else. So it's something to keep in mind when you're picking a lens and if you're going to be shooting all day, walking around all day, things like that. This one, it has an 82 millimeter diameter. So again, if you're wanting to put a filter on, like an ND filter, which is great for shots during the day, getting like motion, the motion effect for water, cars, things like that, whereas at nighttime you wouldn't necessarily need that because it's dark and you can slow down your shutter speed to get that effect. The minimum focusing distance on this is 11 inches, or 11.02 to be exact, so just under a foot. So just remember, from the end of the lens here to your subject needs to be about 11 inches, otherwise it's not going to be able to take the picture, or it won't, especially if you're on the automatic focusing. Another thing to remember also is, since this lens is variable and it does move, you've got another, inch or so more to deal with when you zoom out to 15. So remember 11 inches from the end of this now. It does have image stabilization, so this lens has been pretty great. I've had it for a couple years now. Again, it's 2.8, so it's great for low light situations. I think, again, indoors, at night you're still going to want to use a tripod for getting the perfect effect, because if you're holding it, even with that image stabilization, you're breathing, and there's going to be slight movements that you don't normally think about when you're holding a camera or anything else. You might think you're really still, but you're probably not. So tripods are great in those situations. Of course, if you're indoors, some places, museums, for example, don't allow you to use tripods, so you'll need to consider other factors like your ISO, your shutter speed, things like that you'll have to manipulate when you're using the camera indoors when there is low light situations. Also, they might not seem like low light situation. Obviously, there are lights on in places like that. However, usually they're not super bright lights, and they're not direct lighting into the lens, and so you're going to be likely taking pictures of something that's seems more dark, and that's where the 2.8 would help. But again, you'll have to make some adjustments in those other areas that I mentioned to be able to take pictures. So great overall lens. Now, after they had come out with this one, I don't remember exactly when they did, they came out with an F4 version. So that is this right here. One of the key differences is it goes down to 14 millimeters, so you get 1 more millimeter of wide angle when zooming out. As far as that's concerned. Some of the other major differences, price. Right now, it's also on sale. It's normally $13.99. Again, at B&H, it's right now it's $100 off, so it's $12.99. Weighs 1.2 pounds, which the difference between 1.2 and 1.85 doesn't seem like a lot, but you can see here there's a considerable size difference, and just holding it in my hands, I can feel the difference. So if you're wanting to hold a lens longer, you're going to be out a lot more. Maybe you're not as in many low light situations where you would need something like this. This is actually a pretty fantastic lens. Great weight, feels good in the hands. It doesn't take much to change from the 14 to 35. Something to note: it does have image stabilization. It has a 77 millimeter diameter, but you'll need to. So the other thing here, when going from 15 to 35, it's just back and forth. The lens goes in and out. With this one, for the lens to be inside, it's since it's an externally zooming lens, at 24 millimeters is where the lens is within the body. And if you go down, zoom out to 14, the lens itself comes out. But then if you go up to 35, it also zooms out. So just kind of remember that. Whenever I am not using a lens, I always like to have the zoomed out components of it back fully within the lens and locked if there's a locking mechanism. This one does not have that, so you don't need to worry about that. But I had a chance to use this. I do like this. With this one, I did rent from the local camera store that I rent from. Renting is a great option, as I've said in other videos, for trying out lenses. A much less expensive option, especially so if you're going to go out and you don't know what lens to buy. This is what this video is for, as I mentioned. But go out and rent a lens, see how it feels, see if it works for your needs. When you can put the two lenses side by side, it's much better than spending $2,000 or more on a lens, or even spending $500, $1,000, $1,500, and then it doesn't work for you or you don't like it as much. Renting gives you that much less expensive option to test it out and see what works well for you. Though that's the main ones, or the main features of that. A couple of the other notes. The minimum focusing distance actually for this one is 7.9 inches compared to the 11 of the 2.8, so you can get a lot closer to your subject. It's not necessarily meant to be a macro lens, although you could use it for that. You can get a little bit artistic with it, right? If you wanted to get up close to a subject and go all the widest at 14, you can have a cool little effect going on, depending on what it is that you're wanting to shoot. So you can get a lot closer with your subjects with this one compared to the 2.8. Now, the next lens that I want to talk about is the RF 10 to 20. This is kind of fun of a lens, so it's very wide. It is so something to consider with wide angle lenses. The wider you go, the more of a bowing effect you'll get, like Boeing, not the airline company, but Boeing, where you have the outer edges of your image are going to be stretched, and so it doesn't look as natural as what you're looking at directly. So this lens is a rectilinear lens, so it's supposed to reduce that effect significantly. Again, it's not going to be perfect, right? I don't know if you can see that. You'll have to look up some images online. But the glass, this lens hood is permanently on here. It does cover the rounded glass of the lens here. So as you go out, the lens is trying to basically as you go wider, the lens looks this way, so the image is going to get whatever is at the edge of what you're framing looking like this. So that's where like some of the stretching can occur with the traditional wide angle lenses. You're never going to get something wide and looking straight on, but the rectilinear aspect of this lens is designed to help reduce that bowing, and so you get a nice, as close to straight on wide angle shot as you possibly can. This one has a minimum focusing distance of 9.8 inches, which is great. Weighs 1.3 pounds, so again, not as heavy as the 15 to 35. It's priced at $22.99, again at B&H. This one hasn't been out as long compared to a number of these other lenses, so it's not likely to go on sale soon. However, I would pay attention to sales around, the Black Friday and holiday sales and things like that. We have seen some of these other lenses go on sale, but also some of these other lenses have been out for a few years before they have gone on sale. But, I don't know. Maybe the stores, maybe Canon will reduce them for the holiday time. Because of the rounded or curved nature of the lens, there are no lens filters that can go on the front of this. I think yeah. So with this one, there is an ability to put, little lens filters on the inside here, custom ones, if you're wanting to do that. The f4 aperture aspect of this lens does mean it is better in low light situations. You would want a tripod. It's great for, you can use it for anything really, landscape shots, artistic shots of any kind, but also it's great for architecture. So if you're an architecture photographer, hobbyist, and you're interested in things like that, you want to get as wide an angle as you can to get whatever you're in taking a picture of fully in view, in frame, and in focus. It's great for that. Also, it's great for real estate because you need a wide angle to capture the entirety of the room that you're taking a picture of, so when people are looking it up online, they have an idea of what the house, what the apartment, whatever happens to look like. So it's fantastic for that. But again, you're likely gonna either need a lot of lighting in there or a tripod, probably both. So a great set of lenses. Again, I a lot of times f4 is all you're gonna need. You're maybe not, if you are in low light situations, again, if you're doing landscapes, you're likely going to have a tripod, and it's a great tool to use. But the fact that it's a lot lighter and a lot cheaper if you're going around taking pictures throughout the day where there is a lot of light, even if it's on a cloudy day, this one is definitely a good way to go. I, of course, already have this, so the money's been spent on it, so I'm not going to purchase this one, but it's a fantastic option within this lineup. And then the 10 to 20, it's a fun one to have. It would be cool to have if I had tons of money just to have all the lenses. However, this is something that's a little more unique, a little more specialized. So unless you're actually doing real estate photography or really heavily invested into doing architecture photography, then I wouldn't necessarily go with this lens as one to own, but is a great one to rent and play with from time to time. So definitely check it out. I do enjoy using it. It's a lot of fun, and but I probably won't be buying it. I'll just rent it from the time to time as I need it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you all today. When you get a chance to rent any of these lenses, check them out. Let me know what you think, and I'd be happy to chat about that. So I'm gonna finish up for now. I've got plenty of other lenses that I'm going to be testing out and doing videos on, reviews of, and whatever comes next, I hope you come back and watch. So thanks for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one.